All right, your Class 10 social science exam is just around the corner, isn't it? Let's cut right to the chase. In this explainer, we are going to zero in on the exact questions and the big ideas that pop up year after year. Think of this as your secret weapon, your high-impact study guide. So, you ready? Let's dive in.
I totally get it. You've got history, geography, civics, economics. It can feel like this massive, unclimbable mountain of information. It's so easy to get lost in all the chapters and just feel completely overwhelmed, wondering, where do I even begin?
But here's the secret, the real game changer. You don't have to memorize every single page of your textbook. Nope. The trick is to study smarter, not harder. It's all about focusing on the right things, the topics that carry the most weight. And that is exactly what this is. We've created your blueprint for success. So here's our game plan. We're going to kick things off with history's biggest questions, then move on to those essential geography concepts you'll definitely see. After that, we'll unravel the core ideas of political science and economics. And to finish, we'll wrap it all up into a final exam blueprint just for you. First up, let's talk history. And look, these aren't just some random topics we pulled out of a hat. These are the certified greatest hits, the ones that form the absolute backbone of your paper and are so crucial for those big 3- and 5-mark questions. When you see a question about the unification of Germany, I want one name to pop into your head: Otto von Bismarck. And his strategy? Just remember the phrase blood and iron. It was all about using military power. He strategically fought 3 quick, decisive wars, first against Denmark, then Austria, and finally France, to bring all the German states together under Prussia's leadership. Boom, 1871, the German Empire is born. Okay, now let's jump from Europe to a really powerful concept from India's freedom struggle, Satyagraha. This was so much more than just a protest. It was an entire philosophy. You see, Gandhi introduced it as a weapon to fight injustice, but a weapon based on 2 core beliefs: Satya, which means truth, and Ahimsa, nonviolence. It's all about using the force of truth to win, not physical force. And that powerful idea of nonviolence was the engine behind huge movements like the non-cooperation movement. It didn't just happen out of nowhere, right? The spark was the huge injustice of things like the Rowlatt Act. The goal was crystal clear: Swaraj, or self-rule. The method was brilliant: a massive nationwide boycott of everything British. And it had a very specific end. It was called off after the violence at Chauri Chaura, because that violence went against its most basic principle. All right, let's switch gears and map out our next section, geography. And pay close attention here, because these topics aren't just for your theory questions. They are absolutely essential for scoring full marks on your map work too.
This table looks like a lot to memorize, but it's actually super simple. Just connect it to the weather. Kharif is your monsoon crop, so you get plants that need a lot of water, like rice. Rabi is the winter crop, which is perfect for wheat. And Zaid, that's the short little summer season squeezed in between, perfect for stuff like watermelon and cucumber. Just know 1 or 2 examples for each, and you are good to go.
Okay, you can pretty much guarantee you will see this on your map. India's iron ore belts are a classic. The trick is to remember the keywords. The Odisha-Jharkhand belt, high-grade hematite. The Durg-Buster-Chandrapur belt, very high-grade hematite. And the big one in Karnataka is known for its massive reserves. Those little details will make your answers shine. Water conservation is a huge topic, and the exam wants to know what we're doing about it. The solutions happen at all different levels. You've got individual actions like rainwater harvesting, then bigger regional plans like watershed management, all the way up to these huge multi-purpose dams and national policies like the Jal Jeevan Mission. Time for political science, or what you might call civics. And hey, don't zone out. This isn't just dry theory. These ideas are basically the operating system for our entire country. If you understand these concepts, you understand how power works.
This one sentence, it says it all. You know, democracy isn't about one person or one party holding all the power. It's the exact opposite. It's about spreading that power around. But why is that so incredibly important? Well, it really boils down to 2 big reasons. The first one is just practical. It keeps the peace. Sharing power reduces conflict and makes the country more stable, which is absolutely essential in a place as diverse as India. And then there's the moral reason. It's just the right thing to do. That's the whole point of democracy, right? That everyone gets a voice. So, how exactly does India share power? The answer is federalism. It's the whole framework that lets us manage all our diversity. Power is split up between the center, the states, and local governments. We have a written constitution that acts as the ultimate rulebook, and we have an independent judiciary that's like a referee to settle any arguments. These are the absolute pillars of our system.
Last but definitely not least, let's talk about economics. And this stuff matters. It's not abstract. It connects directly to the money in our pockets, the jobs we have, and the world we live in. So let's decode some of these key ideas. Globalization is a total classic for and against question. You've got to know both sides of the coin. On one hand, it's been great for creating jobs, especially in fields like IT, and it means we have way more choices when we go shopping. But there's another side. It's been really tough for small, local producers who just can't compete with cheap imports, and that has sometimes led to job losses in traditional sectors. Okay, check this out. 100. What is so important about this number? In the world of the Indian economy and rural development, this number is everything. It's the key to one of the biggest employment programs on the entire planet. It stands for the 100 days of guaranteed wage employment that MGNREGA provides. It's a massive social safety net. It gives people an income, which means fewer have to migrate to cities for work. It's a huge source of empowerment for women, and it helps build useful things in villages like roads and ponds. It's a really big deal. And finally, we come to a concept that kind of ties everything together: sustainable development. It's a simple idea, but it's incredibly powerful. It just means that, yes, we should grow our economy and improve our lives, but we can't do it by destroying the environment or using up all the resources that our kids and grandkids are going to need. It's all about finding that perfect balance. So there you have it. We've just blasted through the greatest hits from all 4 subjects. Now the big question is, what do you do with all this information? Let's put it all together and build your final blueprint for acing that exam. Here's your game plan. First, really focus on these big, recurring themes. Second, use those keywords we talked about. They're like mental shortcuts. Blood and iron means Bismarck. Truth force means Satyagraha. Third, when you study, actually picture the tables and timelines in your head. And finally, for those tricky topics, think in comparisons, pros and cons. This is how you build a brilliant answer. You know, you have just walked through the absolute core of your social science paper. These are the topics that will show up, so just take a deep breath. You know this stuff now. Trust me, you are way more prepared than you were just a few minutes ago. So I'll leave you with this one final question. Which one of these topics are you going to master first? I mean, right now. Don't wait. Just pick one, dive in, and start building that confidence. You've totally got this.